The last one we're going to talk about here today is called Worship. It's black
Worship.
and white and red all over because there's blood. But yeah, it's kind of got that sort of sketchy, drawn sort of feel. Sort of like Don't Starve-ish, like black and white though.
Cool.
And you are playing the like leader of a cult, like a devotee to one of a few different gods that you can choose in the game. And you stab your hand to bleed, and then you start leaving a trail of blood, and you walk in a shape to cast different rituals or spells.
Dude.
And the shape that you draw, like, determines what you do. So if you circle...
If this came out in the 90s, this would go to Congress.
Yeah.
They would be like, oh
no!
oh heavens!
Satanic panic!
Satanic
Oh!
rituals!
Yeah. If you draw a circle of blood around the little, like, normal guys, they'll be converted into followers, right? And then they'll follow you around. So it's kind of like
Kinda
a
like Cult of the
it's-
Lamb
or
kind of
it's like
feeling
or
here.
a dark Pikmin kind of.
Nice.
Like an evil Pikmin, or what was that
Whoa.
called? Overlord? What?
Crazy.
Yeah, so you cast different spells. Doing a square, you can draw ahead of time and then hit the button to trigger it. So like you can draw a square and then wait for the right moment and hit it, and then spikes will come up inside the square. You can do circles, and the bigger you do it, the stronger the spell, but the more blood is required. So you have blood, a limited
That's your
amount of
health.
blood.
So
It's
you use
also
your
your
health.
health.
That's so cool.
So you're using your own health.
This is great.
But the more followers you have, you can pick up a follower and just stab them
Jeez.
and use their blood.
Oh my God.
But once you stab them, they're going to bleed out, so you want to use all of it. But then you can throw their corpse at like other
Amazing.
enemies and stuff like that.
If you bleed them out just before death, vampire style, will they be all like,
I don't know. I got the impression that if you stab them a little and then
They're
put them
just
down,
dead.
they would just bleed out.
So
But
it's
I'm
like a
not.
one-off?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that's my assumption. But yeah,
it.
I'm unclear on that. It's an open world, and they're randomly generated for each run. For the demo purposes, they had kind of a set seed and they knew where everything
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
so they could show me.
so are
but
we
like
roguelighting?
sort of, I think so.
Yo.
And it's there's an explore phase and then a test of faith, and then you summon the god at the end. So you do a few of those different runs, and then at the very end you summon the god, and it like destroys the world or whatever.
Crazy.
And there are different gods. They're aiming for 8, but there are 2 or 3 right now. It's up to 4 players, multiplayer online. And you can activate each other's rituals, so you can like draw stuff, whatever. And the different gods kind of want different things. The one they were playing as for the demo was kind of like a god of destruction, so it just wanted like death and chaos and destruction, and you could destroy other gods like statues and stuff, and like gain
Attack and dethrone
devotion. Yeah, but like other gods wanted other stuff, and like some of them were kind of interesting because one of them he was describing was like the goddess of deception, and so they wanted you to like make deals with NPCs and then like lie to them and like betray them and do
That's
stuff like that. So like each god wants you to do kind of different stuff, which sounded really interesting. You can discover new rituals. You can assign the shapes that you want. So you can change it up. So if it's easier for you to draw a square or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Some of the rituals are multiple shapes combined. So that's kind of cool. And like,
Is pentagram the final one?
I wonder, yeah. So it's kind of interesting because at first I was like, okay, yeah, this seems cool, but it seems kind of like a simple idea, And when it really started to pique my interest was when he went to like a camp of a different, like worship, adherents of a different god.
Yeah.
And they were not hostile to him immediately. So he set up basically a bunch of different rituals all over the place and like strategized ahead of time and then procced them like to take over this camp, to like take out this camp all at like once,
Yeah.
And so that started to make me think like, okay, this is kind of cool. And like you can come upon like different world events and stuff. Like there were these guys trying to like seal this giant like huge like goat demon skeleton thing into the like this bog, and they were doing this
The
ritual.
icon of sin.
Yeah, basically. they were doing this ritual to try to like force it down into this bog. And then he was like, so I'm going to interrupt this ritual and help this thing. And so he like killed those guys and like destroyed the little obelisks that were doing it. And then that entity like gave him a gift.
Sick.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's
Seems fun.
interesting. It's dark as hell. But yeah, worship seems kind of cool.
Sure.
It was one of those games where at first I was kind of like, okay, you know, and then as I watched more, I was like, okay, there's a lot to this.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
seems a lot more interesting than it looked at first blush.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, worship.
Sure.
Thank you for watching our Gamescom coverage. We've got a whole boatload more of it. Check it out. Patreon.com/EasyAllies if you want to support us. But all that stuff's on YouTube for free. You can just watch it. Yeah, but we'd love to have you around. See you soon. Bye.